We've been here at our farm on Thomas Road since '94 when we built the cheese plant here. So next year will be our 45th year of Redwood Hill Farm and Creamery. Our farm originally was on Occidental Road, and we moved here when we built the cheese plant in '94 and bought the farm in 2000 and have more room and more space and more room for the animals. We built our cheese plant here, and then we outgrew the cheese plant, so we had to add our creamery. We didn't have enough space left here on the farm to do the creamery, and we didn't really want to take up the land. So we actually, after driving by the old historic apple processing center there on 116 or Gravenstein Highway, we were able to do a long-term lease for many years and remodeled and built that into our creamery, which is where we are today. My parents actually started our farm in 1968 when they moved us from Los Angeles to Sebastopol, and us kids, of course, hated it and thought we were in solitary confinement because we grew up in a neighborhood with sidewalks, bicycles, roller skates, and other neighbor kids. Even though my parents were far from being hippies, they had this idea of going back to the farm, going back to the land, which was so prevalent in the 60s. My dad had been in 4-H, and so they wanted to have a garden. They bought our property in an orchard, and we raised animals both for milk and food. And so I was the oldest of the 10 kids, and so I was 10 when we moved to Sebastopol, and just the age to start 4-H, which my dad got us all involved in. We each had 4 or 5 animals, and that added up to a herd real quick. We started selling the goat milk to the then new health and natural food stores. If you can imagine, there was a time before Whole Foods, and sold the raw milk in glass bottles. My late husband, Stephen Shack, and I took it over in 1978. And that's where I kind of count because I made the decisions and started paying the bills. And so it'll be 35 years for me next year. We, of course, wanted to have it be a real business with my parents. My dad always had an outside job. And back in those days, I mean, it's gotten so much better, and it's really gratifying for me to see the change in my lifetime. But we would go do demos at the stores, and you'd mention goat anything, and they'd either start gagging or backing up. And now when we go do demos, and even the kids say, oh yeah, we want to try this. So it's really nice to see that, and started making more products in addition to the just goat milk. I could never really get the goats out of my idea or my head of wanting to have a business with goats, and I stayed with it. And in the beginning, it was small. Stephen and I and one employee who's still with us today after almost 30 years. As time went on, we needed more people, and thankfully today I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers that have come back to the farm, and they all have different skill sets, from graphic designer doing our labels with my sister Sharon, my sister Shelley doing some events and secretarial work, David doing events and marketing and our social media, and then my brother Scott today, who is our farm manager. So here at the farm, we've diversified more than just goats, and we're in the garden right now. My brother David actually manages the garden and does the picking of the lemon verbena and takes it each week to the creamery for the cameo cheeses.
Here's a bunch of freshly picked lemon verbena for that cameo. We were talking about fragrant, beautiful on that cameo camembert cheese. Once a week I pick that and then go into the creamery just a couple miles away, help them decorate, and then the cameo cheeses are immediately wrapped, and it makes quite an impression. Very beautiful.
Our family farm is 20 acres, and Over the last probably 5 to 8 years, we've really been trying to diversify the farm. Our main product, of course, is still goat milk and our goat milk products, but we sell our organic apples for juice. We're going to be coming out with the olive oil. And really, it's to bring more family members back to the farm and to stay a family farm, to be able to diversify and have different products. And thankfully, Scott, our youngest brother, is the farm manager. He's 20 years younger, so I figure he's got a lot of years left to keep working. We don't really want to sell out to a large conglomerate. We want to have the farm keep going. Next year's our 45th year, and we'd like to see that go even further into the future. Well, I'm really thankful that I have the business I have today with having the animals, which is my love. Being able to make the products, being able to have a business where I can run it the way I want in terms of sustainability and employee satisfaction, but then also having 4 of my family members now back at the farm. I just think it's a great thing, and we live here in paradise in Sonoma County, and that makes it all the sweeter.